Hey, it's Golden Buddha here, back with some more RPG horror stories for your listening entertainment. Today we have a story about an honorable samurai who didn't really want to help the party, and the consequences were dire. Roll post. This happened last year. We were playing a homebrew campaign online with one of my friends as the DM. This will be missing a lot of details that I will skip for the sake of keeping this short. So we were around our 7th session. We were a party of 6, but that day we were only 4 players. The DM, the cleric, the party leader, the ranger with a panther pet, myself as the barbarian, and finally a Kensai monk, aka that guy, the samurai. A bit of background: we were a trading company disguised as an adventuring party. Our main goal was to sell goods, and all of us had different talents. The cleric was a fisherwoman, the Kensai was an artist, one of the players that was not there was a smith, and me and the ranger were hunters and leather workers. It is important to remember what kinds of things we do as a party. We were on a mission. We were traveling on a magic flying carpet under the big desert on a trip that took us a couple of days. Our party was bored, poor, and hungry. I myself was tired of eating rations. Then we saw a rock on the distance. I suggested the idea of hunting it for food, especially because after a nature check, the DM told me its feathers would be worth a little fortune, and this was perfect for our group since we were merchants and little fortunes speak. Besides, we just left a town where we bought a bunch of new equipment, and we were all low on money. I even had to ask for some money from the ranger to buy a new axe. I called for a vote to hunt or not hunt the rock. The Kensai voted no. Apparently he was taught to not harm nature and that the rock was not messing with us, so we shouldn't do it because it was not honorable, and something his master would have liked, even though until now the Kensai already killed some animals for food. I tried to convince him that honor was relative, and that nature is just like this way sometimes. I was a totem warrior barbarian raised by druids. In the end, I just said, hey, we are hungry and this is just nature being nature. The ranger immediately agrees with me and votes yes. Then the cleric, again our leader, says it is best for the company. We are in a desert and we need food and money for the next town we get to, so she says yes too. Since it was 3 against 1, we obviously decided to proceed. The Kensai refuses to take part in the fight, not even if they're dying. He would just be inside the tent on the flying carpet. The encounter began, and this was actually a fun one because it was midair, so stakes were high, literally. We found out this was more than we can chew. Our cleric goes down on turn 2. After seeing this, the Kensai laughed and said, I will leave the chat room and come back once this is over. I want nothing to do with this. Don't ask for my help. Eventually, my barbarian goes down too, and the ranger pet decides it will fight. This was just a regular pet, not a combat animal companion. The panther goes down, and because of its low HP pool, it dies automatically. Luckily, that bought time for our ranger to finish the rock off. We almost wiped. The Kensai rejoins the game, and we were having a funeral for the panther at the moment. My PC, in character, was angry at the Kensai and told him, my pet's blood is on your hands and your blade. Shocked, the player started to say, well, you should have called me. Of course I would have helped, friend. Side note, the Kensai was friends with the ranger both in character and out of character. The party leader cleric, out of character, says, you told us not to call on you. And I added, besides, this was your decision both in character and out of character. The Kensai rage quit, saying he was tired of playing D&D with me. Yes, he apparently had a bone to pick with me for a while now. We had been playing together with the same DM for around 2 years. I didn't know he had something against me, but to be honest, I was glad he quit because I was not a fan of him either. Now I don't have to deal with his anime bullshit and shenanigans every time, especially as a DM. After that situation, the party finished the funeral, and I made a totem with one of the panther claws for the ranger to carry as an amulet. This was a nice RP moment that allowed us to continue the session with no issue. We then proceed to almost wipe against a bone naga. I decided to tell this story because last week our group, with me as the DM now, were telling RPG stories and we remembered this one. Everyone ranted about how that player cared only about his character and had the bad manner of leaving the table/chat when his character was not under the spotlight. Ranger player also stopped being friends with him. End post. Whew, so first off, don't fight rocks. Like, you don't just run up and fight rocks. That's where you guys made that first mistake. You figure, hey, it's a big bird. How bad can it be, really? And then it drops you from like, 200 feet in the air, and you take like however much fall damage. Like, you don't just say, hey, there's a rock flying around, I'm gonna kill it. And plus you guys had food. Someone should have made like a knowledge check and been like, hey, how do rocks fight? And it could definitely lead to a party wipe, which you guys almost found out. As for the samurai, yeah, he should have jumped in to help you guys. That's about it. You guys put it to a vote. He could have done the whole thing where it's like, I'm reluctant, and then jump out at the last minute and be like, oh, I'm here to turn the tide of the battle. That would have been cool. But no, he just left. Apparently, he just left the table and was like, hey, I'll be back when you guys are done fighting this stupid fight. Because that shows he doesn't show any interest in your characters, and like even though he should, like, everyone should be interested in other people's characters. If you're just there for yourself, you shouldn't be there. You're not playing D&D at that point. You're just fucking around. And seemed like he was giving you guys some issues before, but these things sometimes sort themselves out. But I really enjoyed that story, and you guys let me know what you think of the story in the comments below. Please like and subscribe for more content, and as always, this is Golden Buddha telling you to stay enlightened and stay safe.